welcome back to the PodCrafters, the show where we talk about real-world events and topics, and we do it while we're playing Minecraft.
Hey there, it's future editor guy Ryan from the future, here to tell you that we are a couple of noobs, especially when it comes to this video editing stuff, and as a result, this episode got a little goofed up. My video got corrupted, so that is not usable at all, so you will only be seeing Griffin's video, and unfortunately Griffin's game audio didn't record either. So you will have Griffin's video and both of our beautiful voices, but that's about it. Hopefully it's still somewhat enjoyable, and hopefully you guys still come back. I promise that we'll try to fix this in the next episode. But thanks for watching this far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Wish me luck.
It's pretty great, isn't it, Ryan?
If by great you mean a horrible failure and an embarrassment to my family's name, yeah.
Got it, so nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically just an average day for me.
For Ryan Skilly. All right, Ryan. We got two things going on today. We got two things going on today, right? First thing.
Sex and more sex.
That's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, I think I was misinformed. I'm sorry. Continue then.
It's fine. We live in a world of misinformation.
All right.
No. Today, in game, our goal is we are going to build ourselves. We're going to build ourselves a big old house with a focus on just making sure that we can get those enchants going because, well, we need to get some revenge on the Nether eventually, and we want to be prepared when we do, right?
Yes, we get. Did you break the doors and put them the other way?
Yes, because it's better.
I'm so what? No, it's what?
It's better.
It's not.
Ryan, when it's the other way, then the pressure plates get fucked up.
I'm angry. Whatever.
It sounds like a solid case of you problem. All right. While he's been enchanting stuff, I have been recovering stuff.
Studying
so we're
the
on
blade.
the same page. I've been studying the blade. I am better at PvP than he is, so that's not a lie.
You are, but only like a little bit.
Just still, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You'll win anywhere from a third to a fourth of our matches, depending on the day.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I sure do. Thank you. Thank you for sticking up for me. So I think the first thing that we need to do, I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Okay, and then so in game, yeah, we're building a house. It's gonna be nice and fancy. We're gonna use all types of wood and shit.
It's gonna be a thick house.
It's gonna be. You heard it here first, folks. It's gonna be a thick house. But outside of our game, our topic for today is college stories.
Whoa.
With a focus on class stories, but if we run out of talking room, then we might just switch to some other stuff. So Ryan,
Indeed.
I think we should start off on discussing what kind of wood we want our house to be. Do we want it to be spruce, oak? Do we want to find a dark oak biome? I'm assuming we want to stay near the village.
I have Optifine, and that's very, very exciting.
I don't, because OBS sucks.
Yeah. Griffin was having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna talk about that. There was some rage. I may have cried a little bit.
I didn't cry, but I do have a burning anger inside my soul that can only be solved by the subjugation and eradication of the unclean.
Dude, that was a nice word. That was nice 2 words. So anyway, returning to your question. We have this nice little spruce forest here, and I think spruce wood looks pretty nice. So I would be into using some of that. And I think it would also be fun, maybe do like a sort of spruce wood, stone bricks combo.
Spruce wood, stone bricks? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've always personally thought that dark oak wood is the one that looks good with stone bricks, and then spruce wood is kind of like an older cobblestone, mossy cobblestone combination type deal.
Oh, that's true. Sure.
Which sure makes it easier on us, which is really convenient.
We can play around with it, because I don't see any dark oak forests around here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't.
Dark oak is objectively the best type of wood.
Yes, it's not up for debate.
Yeah, it's really not. I'm getting a new computer, everybody. Yay! Yay! Also, I just need to brag. Look at how many diamonds we have. That's a lot of diamonds.
Yeah, we have several. We have 27 whole diamonds.
Yeah, plus Griffin has a chest plate that he, for whatever reason, doesn't want to wear.
Ryan, my track record speaks for itself.
That is also true. That is... Alright, fair enough. Okay, so I think the first thing that we need to do for our house is to pick a location.
Yeah. So I was thinking that we should, stay kind of close, but if we're gonna go with like the whole mossy cobblestone type deal, I think we should have the house just integrated into the spruce forest biome because the dirt has that little bit of a darker feel. And we can surround it with the trees and maybe some cobweb decor. What do you think?
Ooh, like a little spooky mansion kind of type thing.
Yes, except now that I think about it, I will get stuck in the cobwebs and I will get incredibly angry. So maybe that's not the best idea in the world.
Cobwebs. But yeah, I kind of like that, like a rustic kind of old-timey mansion style thing. Let's do it.
Yeah. So you cross mobs. Craft mossy cobblestone with vines and cobblestone.
Oh, that's true. How do we make vines?
Good question.
Can you only get them? I think you can only... Wait, hold up.
You can get them in two places. You can get them in a jungle, or you can get them in a swamp, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, though. But yeah, my class story's gone. So the first class story I'd like to tell is my freshman composition story for my first year. Our professor, he had us call him Mr. B, and that is what he shall remain.
What a B. Am I right?
That is accurate, yes. We can just build the house, and then eventually, like, later we can decor.
Yeah, we can build the house, and we can also make, cracked stone bricks at the very least. That's, or cracked, wait, I think we can do cracked cobblestone? I don't know exactly.
Ryan, cobblestone's already cracked.
Yeah, that's true. But we can do cracked stone bricks.
Apparently so are you.
It might be. Hey!
Hey! Alright, it's almost nighttime. Let's sleep.
Oh, let's do it. It's so nice that we can share this moment here together. Alright.
Okay.
Ow.
Just felt necessary to me after that comment.
I mean, it was kind of hot, not gonna lie.
Anyway. Yeah, anyway. I tried my best, my absolute best to get into this teacher's good graces, but he just hated me for some reason. But like I felt like I always just kept messing it up. Like there was like an evaluation type thing that he wanted to bring us in for the midterms, and I signed up for the one that I could make it to, and then like his instructions to get to his room were super vague, so it took me like 20 minutes to find his room, and I only left myself like 10 minutes to find the room, so he was very upset with me. And then like I brought in the wrong paper, so that was neat.
Oh, no.
So that he was very unhappy. And then that day also we had to choose our like topic for our final paper, and so I suggested my topic, and he was like, yeah, you can do that, I guess. And I was like, okay, I'll do it then. And then like halfway through researching this topic, I'm like, there's not a lot on it. So I just like modified the topic, just like slightly. It was the same basic thing, just like a different focus, like a different angle. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And totally. I shot him an email. I'm just letting him know. I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm just changing the angle on this a little bit, and he never responded to me because I don't know.
Why would you?
No, why would he? But yeah, this guy just anyway, he just kind of made my life kind of difficult. And when I because of that, like obviously like I could check my grades and stuff, but like I just assumed like, man, I'm just not gonna do well in this class because the teacher fucking hates me,
Naturally.
Like that's the natural thing to assume, right?
That's a fair assumption.
So I go and I keep checking my grades, and my grade is just not great. You know, I'm like I'm doing everything I can. I just don't get it. So then I started attributing it to, you know, like this is my first semester of college. Like maybe I'm just like maybe I just don't get it. You know.
Sure.
And then this paper, it's like it's a 10-page research paper that's due, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta do this, I guess now. And then I did it, and I brought it up, and it was like you had to stand up and present the premise and the basic points, the major points of it, and just go over your mini presentation, like 45-second presentation, right?
Okay.
So I go up and I present it, and he turns to me halfway through my presentation. He's like, I didn't approve this topic. And I'm like, yes, you did. And he's like, no, I didn't approve this topic. He's like, I approved da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yes. And then I sent you an email saying, hey, I'm just going to change the angle. And you never responded. And since the topic doesn't change, just the angle on the topic changes, I figured it'd be fine. So he did approve the topic, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like, you would agree.
I would agree.
Okay. Just ensuring that I'm not insane here. Shit. I'm gonna
I mean, I don't know if you can say that.
That's fair. Yeah, so he proved the topic, but, like, I know for a fact that, my desk mate, changed his topic, about 3 days before it was due.
My goodness.
And you know, Mr. B did not call him out for that when he presented. So I was the only person in the entire class that got called out for it.
What the
And so, like, afterwards, like, after I presented, I just left, you know? I was like,
Yep.
This is the last day of class, and I hate everything, and I'm gonna go get McDonald's and just,
Cry.
you know, drown my sorrows in a Big Mac.
Indeed.
Or a quarter pounder. So I have 2 stacks and 5 of logs, by the way.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I only have half a stack.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm like, I didn't even check the grade. I was like, I think I had a C at that point, and I was like, you know what, that's just what I'm getting, or a D, you know?
Sure.
So, like, I really assumed it was going to be a D, because I was pretty sure he was just going to, like, flunk me on the final, even though I definitely did all the work, you know?
Yeah.
And I never talked to this guy again.
Do we want to build our house on this hill? Just, like, kind of
Yeah, like overlooking. Like, do we want to build it, like, kind of, like, in, like to here, you know?
Actually, this little area is, like, pretty flat.
It is
kinda,
nice.
Actually,
Let's just,
nice,
let's mine out the rest of the trees here, and then...
Let's do it.
Alright.
I have some,
Yeah, so I just assumed, like, you know, I probably got, like, a D in this class, and that's just how it's gonna be, and, like, teacher hates me, there's no way he's gonna listen to me if I try to talk to him about it, you know?
Right.
And then 2 things happened. So first of all, he moved away because it was his last semester, and he was just done, right?
Nice.
So I never got to see him again, or I never had to see him again, is a better thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then another thing happened. At the end of the year, when I was checking my unofficial transcript, I looked at the class, and I got a B.
Dude, my guy.
So what that means is that after calling specifically me out in front of the entire class and, like, making me, like, go red in the face and just hate everything and be like, well, go fuck yourself, he read my paper and thought to himself, damn, this is good paper. And that, yeah. I can't decide if that's the best revenge or if it makes me want to hit him. You know?
I think that's more like a well played moment. Like a well played, Mr. B. Or maybe Mr. B is saying, well played, Griffin.
You know, because, like, you don't think you approved my topic, but you did, and I did a good paper on it, and suck it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, Mr. B sucked your dick.
Dude was short enough to.
Oh! Oh!
God, this guy, I I will never hate a professor as much as I hated him. Not because like I've had like just shit professors, you know, in high school and in college. But like he was just like
Right.
he almost seemed malicious in his treatment of me.
Sure.
And I was like, well, thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Well, fuck you. Yep.
But I pulled out a B in his class, and I was like, you know what, man?
My God.
Suck it.
Hell yeah.
You might not like me, but I'm too good to ignore.
You know what? I really feel like that's the American ideal.
Yep. So I don't think it needs to be massive. I think the biggest area needs to be our storage area. I actually have some references on my phone that I can pull up for like decoration ideas and stuff.
Sure.
Like I found like a nice like rundown spoopy kitchen type thing to do.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah. Okay. So I had an idea for you know, the outline of the house.
Okay.
So I was thinking like you know how the villager houses that kind of look like an L.
Yes.
So I was thinking something like that, but maybe like a little bit bigger, and then you know looking kind of you know run down and basically just like I'm thinking just like a big like main part of the house with just like several like smaller offshoots, like a kitchen offshoot and all that stuff, and then a big like spooky basement type deal that's just filled with chests for our storage.
I like it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I'm super hyped for that.
I don't have nearly as many interesting college stories as Griffin does. I'm just sort of a loser.
Ryan, interesting. This is something that Emily made me learn. Is that interesting does not mean eventful. It just means something that happened to you that incited emotion of any kind. My mouse isn't responding. My mouse isn't
Wait,
responding.
so I can just do this? You can't do anything?
My
with that?
trackpad's responding. Never mind. My trackpad doesn't.
Yay, combos!
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Fuck it. I will hit you with the stick.
No, not the stick. I will hit you with the carrot. Sumo brawl.
Spleeve!
Wait, I gotta get my shovel. All right.
Spleeve. So the just let me say that the vision that I have here is like it's like we have this big like main area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know on these three sides we have just like offshoots that are like the roof is lower, but they all serve their own purpose. And then in the basement we can have like or even up here we could just an enchantment area. I don't know.
Yes, I love it.
Okay. Okay. First story. Do you want to hear another in-class story, or do you want to hear a different kind of story? Because I have two more class stories, and then another story that technically happened in class, but like it's funny. It is a little bit different. It's not like about a professor.
Okay, let's hear the second in-class story.
Second in-class story. All right. Second of three. Okay. So my second in-class story is about sociology. And this teacher, I feel not bad saying this, to be honest, because it was just like this. This teacher was a joke. In every aspect that I saw her as, she was just kind of a joke. So wait. Do you build your walls 2 blocks thick then?
No, I usually build the walls like on the inside ones, and then it sort of sticks out the front. Gives it a little dimension.
All right, that's fine. So I'm just gonna build the walls, and then we will be carving out a little bit here.
Cool.
Okay. She was just pathetic. And I let's call her Professor R.
Cool.
So that's the first letter of her last name. But she was like hippie all the way, and there's nothing wrong with being, hippie and being progressive. or anything, but she was progressive to the point of exclusion.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
Yeah,
That's the opposite.
exactly. And yes, I know those 2 blocks need to go away, but let me just do that and that. Yeah. So she was progressive to the point where she almost actively targeted the Caucasian students present.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, doesn't necessarily bother me super much, because I don't usually get bothered by that kind of stuff, but, like, she would do stuff like start discussions on, like, that were just, like, I don't know, just start discussions that ended up just essentially just being very targeting to certain people, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. And it wasn't that she was malicious, it was that I'm quite convinced that it was just because she's stupid and old.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because what I think a lot of people, especially in the older generations, or I guess a few people in the older generations, what they don't understand is that the end goal here is not like the extreme, like the very, very end goal is the exclusion of the idea of race in general.
Sure.
You know, like we're all just people. We can celebrate our differences, but we can celebrate our backgrounds, but the end goal here is that we don't we go back to when just that shit just didn't matter.
Right, totally.
You know? Because, if you go back to, like, I mean, like, you look at it, like, the Romans didn't give a shit. It's all about...
I did not actually know that.
Yeah, no, the whole idea of racial inferiority, it started with the eugenics movement.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, in colonial... Imperial Britain times, honestly. So, I think you can thank the British for... that's a stupid statement. I'm not going to finish that statement because...
You can thank the British for racism.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you can't, people have to go along with it in order to make a difference. Like, somebody can say something extremely offensive, but if nobody agrees, then it has no real power.
Right.
Unfortunately, eugenics had power because people wanted to feel something, whatever.
Yep.
But anyway, she was, like, she also did stuff like, she'd try to teach class, and she'd just get so sidetracked that class wouldn't be taught. And there was a guy, a disabled individual, a disabled student who had to talk like using text to speech, like a Stephen Hawking type thing.
Oh, interesting.
And smart guy actually. The thing was that he didn't have anyone there to like help him out or anything, so she spent a lot of her time, and this isn't her fault, I guess. She spent a lot of her time talking to him and waiting for him to type and stuff, and like it. I mean, it was a situation. It's a situation in which no one's the bad guy, but it's just
right.
like it was a little inconvenient. Not.
It's just like it's situational.
Yeah, it's situational. But as far as what she taught, she spent let me say this. She spent about 10% of her time teaching us. A solid 60% of her time trying to convince us that sociology is a real science. It's not. It's really not a real science.
You've told me about this before.
It's not a real science. Sociology is not a real science. Yes, you can apply the scientific method in some offhand bullshit what the fuck ways, but it's in, like, you can't compare it to sciences like chemistry or physics or anything.
Right.
And I would actually make less harsh, but a similar comment about psychology. In that, like, obviously it's a science, but it's not, hands-on in the same way as chemistry and physics and stuff like that,
That's true. Do we want to use spruce wood for the floor or the andesite?
I would prefer spruce wood with a burning passion.
Cool. Sweet.
So.
I'm down with that sickness.
Yeah. So that was her teaching. And then the rest of the time she spent trying to not be offensive, but being offensive.
Ah, we love it.
So she was also the kind of teacher that was like it was a really easy class though, because she spent like none of her time teaching. And she had a policy like, if we don't go over in class, it's not going to be on the test. Which the test was always easy because there was no material.
There was nothing on it.
Because there was basically nothing on it. There were like, 5 multiple choice questions and then 2 short answer questions that were easy.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure we took 2 tests on the same unit because she just forgot to teach the next unit.
Oh, I've 100% have had professors like that.
Yeah. But that's just how it was. And there were 2 papers that we needed to turn in, and each paper was a 10-point paper, but it was a 100-point class, so they were each 10% of your grade, right?
Okay, cool.
And the first paper, was turned in on time by me. I got like a 9 out of 10, and it'll be good. I got a 9 out of 10, and felt good about it. It was great. The second paper was actually 15 points, so 15% of the grade. I swear to God, I meant to start that paper, but I didn't. And then a week passed since the due date, and I didn't start it. And then 2 weeks, and then finally, at the end of the 3rd week, my buddy who I was taking the class with was like, hey dude, you should really do this paper. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Because she also had a no zeros policy. But she was very repetitive in saying, but if you turn something in late, I will need to take off some credit, And she gave this whole spiel at the beginning of the semester about how, like, if it's this amount late, X amount late, you're going to get half credit, right? I was definitely past X amount late. So by extension out, I meant like this much. Like it's going to be like almost an annex to the house, Does that make sense? Ryan?
I do what I want.
No, I mean, and then Ryan.
No, it's a bit. Just go with the bit.
Okay.
It's a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Just let me have my bit.
Okay. Yeah, but like I was
failed
thinking,
bit. Thanks.
And then this type of thing. And then this needs to go the fuck away.
Oh sure, it's all about Griffin.
Ryan, you can decide when you have a story to tell.
Ignore me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I turned in this paper like 3.5 weeks late, and my friend had gotten a B on this paper, and he was the one who was like, dude, you should get this paper done. I was like, yeah, you're right, I probably should. So I turned in the paper. 2 days later, I get it back.
One of the sides like a circle tower?
Sure.
Yay!
Sure.
Okay, cool.
So like, why don't we make this side like an offshoot, because I'm thinking a slanting roof for the house, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then this side is gonna be like shorter, and then another slanting roof on it,
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just leave the back, like put some windows on it or something, and then this area can have like maybe the circle tower can like at the top. That's our enchantment area.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I know.
Yes.
Be fucking lit. But then over here we can have like a kitchen and like a brewing area type deal. That'd be dope.
Sure.
It's
Okay.
all coming together.
Cool.
Anyway, so after turning in this paper, almost a month late, I got 95%, and
My God.
my friend got 85, and he turned it in on time.
Bruh, what?
Yeah. So
What?
he refused to speak to me for the rest of the class period.
You know, frankly, I can't blame him.
I just was like, dude, it's not my fault. Like, it was funny. So yeah, that's basically how the class went.
That's
All the studying that we had to do for tests were like I'd go over the study guide twice. You know, at the end of each, you know, right before each test.
right.
And then are we gonna build the house a little bit taller, or is this just what
Yeah,
we're doing?
we can.
Yeah.
I do not have a preference.
I'll
As
just
with most
knock you
things
down
in
some
life.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just thinking like a few blocks taller, you know.
Sure.
Wow, we've used almost all of our oak, or almost all of our spruce, unless we have some more spruce logs.
I have almost a stack here.
Why are you doing bottom slabs?
I'm making stairs.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that was sociology. Introduction to sociology.
Wait, can I just have like a few of those?
Yeah, how
Where'd
many?
you go? Like 10.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah, that was introduction to sociology, and it was a train wreck.
Sounds horrible.
And I got an A, but yeah, I do remember there was one day in class when Mark, or my friend and I, yeah, Mark and I both got sick of it, and we just stood up and walked out.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah, we just stood up and walked out, and like there were no consequences.
What a good authoritarian.
And I've not done this with another class, but like before or since, but like that specific class was just so like uninformative that we ended up we just made a rule for ourselves. It was the class happened 3 times a week, and we just said we got to go once a week.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, we just went once a week, and I ended up getting an A in the class, and my friend got a B, and yeah, that was pretty much the end of sociology. It was great.
Nice.
And
Dude.
it was a joke.
Story.
Start to finish. It was great. It was great.
Yep.
And then another teacher that I just loathed because of her poor organizational skills. This is just another old. All of the teachers that I don't like are old.
I see.
It's not because they're old, but it's because they're just like,
It's because they're old.
they're slow. and like understand. They're like slow to understand, you know.
Yeah. Yes. You know what? I agree.
So this is my anthropology class, and this teacher was like, it was an in-person class, and this happened this last spring semester, so the class obviously had to move online because of COVID, and the class was fine except that it was boring, which
Sure.
I mean I still went and everything. It was just a boring class, but whatever, it wasn't that difficult. That fact changed as soon as we moved online for a number of reasons. The first being that she had the most atrocious typing I have ever seen. So it was very, very difficult, and I ended up emailing her like every time she made an announcement for clarification. And
Bruh. That shouldn't be a thing.
I know it was bad. There was also someone in the class who had autism, and she was extremely impatient with him.
That's not cool either.
It's not. She was just extremely impatient with him, and it was honestly like kind of heartbreaking to see.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But I imagine it was less fun for him than it was to watch. So
yeah, most likely.
sorry, guy who I will not name. But yeah, she was just kind of like that, and then she would give these specifications on her tests. I believe I have told you about this before, but like she'd give these specifications on her tests, like provide an example or provide at least 2 examples, you know? And then I would provide the necessary examples, and they'd be damn good examples, and then she'd, in the feedback, dock me points and say, you need more examples.
What the fuck?
Like,
what?
In the language she used when writing each test, she would be like, give an example of each of these things, or give at least 2 examples of the difference between this and this, right?
Yeah.
Easy to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's not easy to do is read her mind.
Yeah, what the hell?
So she did stuff like that, and I did do fine in the class, but I ended up emailing her at the like after the second to last test, and like I was just I was furious. Quite frankly, I was like I gave you every example that I could give you. I did everything I could to get the best grade that I could on this test, and you give me this feedback and tell me that I don't have the right examples. So what I ended up doing is I ended up re-answering every single question, except I used like I went really extreme. I used like 10 examples on each thing that needed an example.
Yes.
But they just got like slowly more and more ridiculous, you know?
Totally.
Like one of the things was like, I can't remember the exact term, but like it's like it was talking about secularity, I think.
Okay.
And it was like, what's what it was like, what is first of all, the test said, what is an example of religious figures or iconography mixed with like secular things, you know?
Sure.
And
Hey,
what?
Can I have like 4 more logs?
Yeah, where are you?
Oh, right behind you. Thank you.
So I gave a few examples, and she was like, you need more examples. It said an example. I gave 2 examples. She said I needed more.
Oh, of course. Naturally.
Of course. So I believe I gave like 1 million different examples. I think this one is the one I went the most overboard on, because this is the one that pissed me off the most. I think I gave 15 examples. Each just devolving further and further and ending with the Pope Mobile.
What a man.
But like the examples that I gave were like good and solid. I believe one of the examples I gave was let's consider the use of monetary means in the church today, you know? Like, people,
Sure.
Churches run fundraisers and all this stuff, and money is not in itself, a holy object, but it's something that is, needed for, to perform the duties that need to be performed,
Right.
And that's a good example that fit the question.
Yeah.
And she was like, you need just more examples, and like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? Churches are made of bricks, which are not holy. Like stuff like that. And I sent her this huge long, like I probably doubled the size of the amount that, like, what I wrote on the test.
Hell yeah.
Just with giving these examples that were just getting more and more ridiculous. And then I finally, like, at the very end, I answered the last question, and then underneath the last question I started a new paragraph, and I was just like, look, you asked for 1 example for each of these. I gave 2, but apparently that wasn't enough, so here's this. And it was just like this whole, like, it was just really, like, Like
Petty.
it doesn't matter how stupid you are. Reading that email, you could tell that I was upset.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. That's amazing.
And
I love
then
you.
yeah, once she emailed me back, she gave me some bullshit about like, yeah, you know, I say in class that like you need to like give like multiple examples, and like I do,
That
I,
shit.
I, I do.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So then on the last test, the final, I made sure like, you know what, fine. I provided 4 examples for each thing that said an example, right?
Sure.
I did this, and believe me, I don't know if you've ever tried to provide 4 examples for something that only should need 1 or 2, but it's impossible to word it in a fashion that like will make it flow. It can't be done.
Yep. I agree.
So I was just, you know, doing all this shit and listing it. Essentially, I was just listing examples, and that kind of satisfied her, not entirely.
Fair enough.
It was not. It was just fucking stupid, dude. That's
I need more wood.
um.
Do you like my tower so far?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna kill this pillager.
Just village.
It's not a pillager captain. It's just a pillager.
I feel like that's good. I don't know how well we could do in a raid right now.
Yeah.
I mean, level 1 we'd probably be fine, but
Yeah, probably.
Do you have more wood?
I have a little bit more, but I also need wood.
Okay. I'll just, I'll
Let's go get some more.
just start getting wood.
It's not like we're in a forest. Yeah. So
You know, I didn't think about it that way. What a fun teacher.
I know.
What a
really
fun
great.
story. What a fun time.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, so that was my anthropology teacher.
Hell yeah.
I ended up getting like a C. All because I could not, just couldn't give enough examples, Ryan.
C's get degrees, man.
I just couldn't do it.
Hey man, C's get degrees.
You're right.
Oh yeah.
I actually do have I have a 2.98 GPA.
What is that, like? A little above average?
That is so C 70% is the average.
Okay.
Which is a C average.
Okay.
So that is like that is 2/100ths of away from a B average.
Cool.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah, I'm living it up.
Dude, hell yeah.
I ain't doing so bad. Yeah. That's
Can't
that's it.
Can't compare with my 3.8. But
I honest to God, if I had a 3.8, I would feel no different than I do right now. So I'm glad that you have the aspiration you're looking for. I'm also comfortable with what I've got.
I was joking, but I'm really happy that you actually said that, because that's a very healthy way of looking at it.
Yeah. Do you actually have a 3.8?
I do.
It's pretty good.
Thank you. Oh, my axe broke. Whoa, that's crazy.
Dude. Yeah, I replaced my axe a little while ago.
What block are you glitched on? You know the thing where like sometimes oak wood falls, but like it's like sort of caught in mid-fall, so like it looks like it's on the ground, but like you can't really pick it up because the game still thinks it's like falling from the sky.
Yep.
Are we just getting server lag? Is that what's happening right now?
You've been lagging a little bit. I haven't experienced much server lag, but you've been lagging a little bit.
I can pick up this dirt block, but not the wood. Whatever. Whatever. I didn't want this wood.
Did I already tell my abnormal psychology final presentation story on this channel?
I don't think you did.
Okay, because that's my last college story.
Let's hear it. I would love to hear it.
Okay. Which I've told you this story. I told you this story last time we hung out. But okay. Abnormal psychology. My favorite class that I've ever taken in high school or college.
Hell yes.
Absolutely loved that class. Loved my classmates. My teacher gave amazing feedback on any given assignment or test. I could have gone back and gotten 100% on the feedback she gave me.
Nice. Hell yeah, man.
And that's without
That's
like
good teaching.
and she had zero multiple choice.
Oh, thank the Lord.
So like it was zero multiple choice, and with the feedback she gave me, like it was perfect.
Dude, what a guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna land on the beds.
It's amazing. Thing about this class is that for the final we had a verbal presentation.
Okay.
With some slides. And what it was is there were groups of usually 3, but sometimes 4, and my group was of 4 because it was 4 people who had worked together for the entire semester, and she was like, yeah, you guys can work together. Fine. We all had really good grades and everything. So that was just how it was, and I'm not complaining. It was fun. But anyway, so what we had was a doctor, quote unquote, a patient, quote unquote, and then 2. In our case, usually 1, but in our case 2. What was called advocates, and what the advocates did was like, so the doctor was like, the patient would go and like talk about, here are my symptoms, here's when they started, here's my story. And then the doctor would say, here's suggested treatments, yada, yada, yada. And then the advocates would say, most people with this start because of, this probable cause. And these treatments were developed because of this,
Okay.
So basically it was the advocate's job to just give, like, a history lesson.
Okay.
But I got to be the patient. So what the patient got to do is write up a story for themselves.
Nice.
And present it. And if you know me, I play D&D. So yeah. I love doing stuff like that. Like writing up characters and, it's my thing. I really enjoy it.
He's a nerd.
I'm a nerd. Now the thing is that I'm also a procrastinator. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
So our group got together and talked, and everybody got to be a thing. The other guy in my group was the doctor, and then the 2 girls were the advocates. And we decided, on this day, we're going to meet up at like 8 a.m. and we're going to have a meeting, and it's going to be great, right? Now, I thought that the meeting was on the class day that was before the day we presented. Unbeknownst to me, it was the day we presented. So, that's neat. It was...
Nice. Fun.
It was a thing. So I get in there and we're talking, and I managed to, like, because like I haven't done anything. I'm just talking to my group, like, yeah, here's some ideas that I had, and X, Y, and Z, and they're like, yeah, it sounds good. Just make sure you're ready for class time today. And I was like, wait, today? I thought we were presenting on Thursday, and they were like, nope, it's today.
Bruh.
So externally, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that'll be fine. Like that's what I said. But internally, I'm like, oh no. oh no. This is bad. Like I'm freaking out internally. I'm like, I gotta write this entire fucking thing. Like I'm
bad news bears.
Screwed. Yeah, I was not excited. So immediately after we got to class, so class starts at 9:30, right? We got out of the meeting at 8:30, or no, we got out of the meeting at 8:15. So I have an hour and a half before class starts, right?
Cool.
So I sit down and I put because I actually had done some thinking about it. I put down what I thought onto a page, right? I write it all down, and I write this whole, paragraph of like, and by the way, each, I guess I should have said this, each group is assigned a mental illness, and that's the mental illness that they represented. My team got schizophrenia, which is awesome, which, I mean, schizophrenia itself is not awesome, but like learning about it is fucking dope.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the most interesting possible disorders.
It's so fucking cool. Yeah, I got one of them dope disorders.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so we got schizophrenia, which meant that I needed to come up with a narrative for a schizophrenia patient.
Okay.
Which is, it's cool, but it's a wee bit challenging.
Yes.
But I did it. I managed to do it. And I was really, really proud of it. And by the time I finished it, I actually had like 40 minutes until presenting time. So I was just like, because originally I was thinking like, okay, then I can condense this into note cards and we'll be good to go.
Yes.
But I got done with so much time left, and I was like, I do have note cards, but what if I just don't have to condense them into note cards?
Sure.
So then I start, memorizing it and reading it over and over again, and after a while, I just had it memorized. And when I'm memorizing something, I take it in chunks. Like first paragraph, I memorize it. Second paragraph, I memorize it, and then I read the first and second paragraph together until I can do the entire thing, and then
okay, sure.
So on and so forth.
Yes.
And then I do the same thing with the second and third paragraph, because then my brain goes, if I can say the first and second paragraph together, then I can say the second and third paragraph together, then I can do the entire thing.
Totally.
And it works for me.
That's a good way to memorize.
Yeah, it works for me. But yeah, I memorized this thing, right? So we get into class, and I'm actually feeling like pretty confident, especially after I hear some of the other patients' stuff, and I was like some of the other patients wrote up their things, and I was like, you know what, mine is actually like kind of like good compared to a lot of these,
Better.
It's like, honestly, that was my thought process. I was like, mine's kind of better than most of these,
Damn straight.
And hey, do you want to come down and sleep?
Oh, let's do it.
And that wasn't, I mean, that was a little bit of hubris on my part, of course.
There are monsters nearby. Oh.
Dude, there's a baby.
Oh my god.
Bitch.
There's double babies.
Double baby all the way down.
Hell yeah. Get out of here.
Okay. Good.
Oh no, the zombies in the distance.
They're coming.
No! Get wrecked,
Bitch.
boys.
Except that,
Ow, I'm
no,
on fire.
fire.
Frick.
I'm just gonna let you deal with those.
Hug me. I need to eat before I burn to death. Oh, I
Do you need food?
was placing blocks instead of eating. Not working.
Anyway, so like, people are presenting and presenting and presenting, and I'm like, mine's like pretty good, and I'm becoming more and more confident as we're going along here. And then we get up, and then like our group gets called, and I look around, and my Garrett is sweating and like nervous as hell, and the girls are both looking like, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm fine, because like I'm not only am I do I play D&D, but I also DM, which means that I'm used to not only creating these characters, but also talking about them in front of a group of people.
Sick.
So this is literally, I like, in my mind, I'm like, this is what I've trained for,
This is what you were made for.
It's my time. We get up there, and I realize to myself, like, I'm gonna nail this, and the patient is the one that has to go first. Like, the doctor does like a little short intro, and then the patient goes first,
Okay.
And I give my spiel, and I'm the only one without note cards on our entire group.
Nice.
And the fact that I didn't bring note cards actually added to my authenticity a little bit. I took a little cue from Harrison Ford in Star Wars during that scene. where he's on the
Okay.
comm with the stormtrooper,
Okay.
where I just like he didn't. Fun fact: he purposefully he knew that conversation was supposed to be like awkward and like scrambling, so he purposefully only skimmed his lines.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
I've done that before.
but yeah, my not having note cards forced my brain to process a little bit more, which means that there were a few more pauses and like me, washing my hands together a little bit. Just it actually really worked to sell the point that I was making.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome.
And by the time I got done, I finished it up and I finished up my spiel and like I did like a full backstory. Like here I was born here on this date. I lived with my grandma and grandpa in Nebraska until I was X, and then I moved to Iowa and did this and did that, and now I'm here for school.
Sure.
I could actually probably recite the basic premise of what I wrote to you, if you'd like, but
Do it.
maybe
Yeah.
right now. Maybe off later off camera.
Okay, maybe later. Okay.
Um,
Really quick. Before you start again, sorry to interrupt, but what exactly are we thinking for the roof? Do we want to go sort of up like in the middle, or do we want to just progressively go up all the way to the other side? Because that might be kind of cool too.
like a half slant type deal.
Like a full slope all the way up to the tower. Not it wouldn't go up to the top of the tower, but like. What do you think?
How about you execute the vision you're having right now, and we'll just go with it.
Dope. Yes, sir. All right, continue.
Yeah, but I gave my presentation, and so a thing that I forgot to mention is that each group was required to, for each presentation, just have a little thing that said like, "What's your favorite part?" Any comments? It was basically just a comment card. Like, what comments do you have? What things did you observe?
Okay, sure.
Basic thing. But there were 30. I remember this very specifically. In fact, I think I might. Oh, wow. I think I might have the notes still. I remember very specifically. There were 31 people in class that day, other than our group, and 28 of the 31 comments were about my performance.
Dude, nice.
And 7 of those were people commenting who clearly thought that it was a personal experience of mine.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Best performance I've ever given, for a sense.
That's amazing. Dude, good for you.
And I walked out of there so fucking happy, and you bet your ass I got 100% on that final.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you did.
I was very, very happy with myself. But yeah, that's kind of my last college story, and this episode, even with editing, is going to be pretty dang long. So I'm thinking that we should probably wrap it up, don't you?
Yeah. So I think at the start of next episode we'll have this finished probably, and we'll be maybe next episode we can head back into the Nether now that we're not pussies anymore.
I think at the start of next episode we should do some enchanting, gathering, and stuff, but we'll talk.
That too.
But yeah, that I think pretty much does it for the episode 4 now of the PodCrafters. So
technically
everybody.
3 because the third one.
That's true.
Is
Episode 3.
Extra.
Episode 3. That does it for episode 3 of the PodCrafters. Thank you to everybody who stuck around. This one's going to be lengthy even by the standards we've set so far. But yeah, great rest of your days.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Bye-bye. Yo, it's nighttime. Do we want to sleep?
Yeah, let's sleep. You just want to cut out the last 45 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
That's fine. I mean, nothing really important happened.
What are you talking about? This is the funniest part of the video.
It's hysterical.